the answer to my question then is, no, the school board did not hold any open hearings regarding the necessity for a reduction in force.
Would you repeat that again?
Did the school board hold any open hearings regarding the necessity for a reduction in force?
This one that's on our paper here.
Okay. Except for the fact that 90% of the discussion regarding the reduction in force was in closed session, except for 20 minutes of it.
There were questions that they asked of their attorney.
And they have every right to, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but all I'm saying is, what you can tell me that there was only, I'm sorry, I said 20 minutes. I meant 11 minutes. There were only 11 minutes of open session, of an open school board meeting to discuss the necessity of a reduction in force because of the program change. Is that right?
That's what's stated here.
Okay. You also stated earlier that the state requirements for technology had been reduced from 1 to 0, correct?
That's correct.
Did you look at reducing the force in the technology department?
No, sir, because our school board has elected that students continue to get a technology credit.
Okay. And has the school board adopted the same graduation requirements as the state for health and PE?
They have they kept the health and the PE, the one credit there.
So this, according to BNI ISD policy, irregardless of the state criteria, you still have to have a health and PE class to graduate.
Yes.
Okay. Well then, what does it matter that the graduation requirements from the state changed if the Beta ISD requirements were the same?
The requirement change was we used to require 1.5 for PE. This year it went down to 1. And so at the time that the staffing audit came out, contracts had already been signed.
Okay. So in January of 2010, the state board required that PE credits necessary to graduate went from 1.5 to 1.
Yes, sir.
And health went from 1 to 0.
It's a half credit, yes. It's a half credit.
I'm sorry, half credit. From 1 to half credit. Okay.
Well, no, I'm sorry. It's just a half credit for the health, and you don't have to have health now. You don't have to have a health credit according to the State Board of Education. However, our school district has voted that we have health.
Okay, I'm trying to understand. So let's just talk about the state requirements. The difference between the state requirements between this school year and next year went from 1.5 PE credits to graduate to 1 PE credit to graduate.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and health went from.
Okay, health is not even required now.
All right, but what was it?
And so you only have a half a credit.
It used to be half now. Okay,
No,
okay.
you're not, the state board does not require that you have that.
Right, and that's the state board though.
Yes, sir.
However, BUNA policy, what is the BUNA policy for PE?
The curriculum handbook was approved that has we require the half credit.
For health?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what was the credit for PE?
For this school year or next year? Which year are you asking?
This year.
Okay, this year, 1.
What next year?
1.
Okay. Does the health requirement change for next year?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, even though the BUNA ISD requirements for graduation from this school year to next year, if I hear you correctly, don't change.
That's correct.
Okay. So then why do you make a reduction in force due to a program change that's based upon criteria that you aren't even adopting?
If you go back, what I said is that last school year, in the 9-10, it was 1.5. When this came out in January, I was unemployed here. The staffing audit came out in April, which showed that we are overstaffed and undercertified. But at that time, contracts had already been signed, so therefore our teachers all had a contract.
Right. I think maybe you and I are missing each other, because the state allows and maybe I don't understand, but the state has graduation criteria, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and as long as those minimum requirements are met, a district can have additional requirements.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So even though the state does not require a health credit to graduate, Buena ISD next year will still require half a credit to graduate.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the PE credit last year at Buena ISD was 1, and next year it will be 1 also.
The 9-10, it was 1.5. This year, the 10-11 is 1, and 11-12 will be.
Okay. So the only difference between the past 3 school years is 0.5.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Okay. Okay. Pass the witness.
Just a couple of questions.
Hold on, I think she's changed her.
Okay. Mr. Joseph pointed out that you had testified that you looked at all the PE in the district at one point.
Yes, sir.